Hi, and welcome back to the BFE podcast, guys. I'm super excited to bring you this episode. This is definitely going to be a legendary episode for us. We have a signed UFC fighter coming on with us today. He is sitting right across from me. Dan the Man's on with us too. And yeah, we're just going to jump right into it. Like I said, these episodes are going to be dropping every Monday, so if you guys want to follow along on this journey, hit that subscribe button. Like, all the other socials will be popping up in the background. And like I said, this is going to be a legendary one for the BFE boys, so thank you so much for coming on. Dan, why don't you take it away?
Well, I'd like to just start and just have you tell people exactly what it is that you do. I mean, because some people don't know what the UFC is. I feel like a majority of people probably know what it is.
Especially watching this, I would say. We allude to it a lot.
But I just feel like it's important for people to understand a little bit of your background, things like that. Maybe where you grew up or things like that.
So first of all, most people that I even talked to, before I was even in the UFC or signed to the UFC, they're like, "Oh, do you do that UFC stuff?"
Yeah.
So they kind of they put MMA in this bracket of how NFL is. Like if people came up to you and be like, "Oh, you did that? You do NFL?" It's like it didn't make much sense. Or you do NBA?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I do MMA. They're like, "Oh, what's that?" And then I'll explain it to them.
Yeah.
Oh, you do UFC. So a lot of people just.
I feel like it's starting to get big. UFC isn't. It's probably out of the, let's say, like baseball, basketball, football, and then I'd probably say UFC is starting to get up there.
100%. It's probably the fastest growing sport in the world. I mean, it is.
I would say so. Yeah.
I guess that's the point I was trying to make as far as tell people what you do is because you don't just do UFC. That's an organization. It's not a sport. I mean, it is a sport, but it's an organization. You do mixed martial arts.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But you said bring up just how I got into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fine.
How I got into it was pretty much winging it. I tried to walk on to Cincinnati, and things came up to where I owed Cincinnati money, so I couldn't even try to walk on.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, how does that even happen? You're gonna owe what? You try to go to college there?
Yeah, and
then
they had me get some. I don't even know what it is. I was just signing shit. I'm stupid.
Yeah, well, hey, hold on. No, you're every dude. How many contracts have you actually looked at, or where your bank will pop up and be like, "Do acknowledge all the," and I'm just like, listen, I hope you have the best intent. Yes, I read this shit.
The terms of agreement.
Yeah, no, I don't read much. Even now, I'm just like, I'll talk to my management. I'm like, "You guys read this?" They're like, "Yeah." I go, "Cool."
Well, and hopefully, God forbid, you're close with your management or you trust your management, and hopefully they're doing you right and for your entire crew because
you definitely hear horror stories, for sure.
Oh, dude.
But as long as you trust them, I mean, that's where it's at. I mean, I feel like that's important. Like you said, though, you keep a lot of people who've always been around you.
Yeah, I'm actually quite a very trustworthy person. I don't know, it's just natural.
Oh, I'm the same, brother.
And it's pretty much just the moment you fuck me over, that's when I'll start.
Oh, you'll be dead to me.
Yeah, I feel like that's how most guys are. Seriously, you can, because I'm the same way. I'll give you all my trust, and then once I feel like you have betrayed that, I'm good. I'm good on you forever, probably. So,
I'm very gullible too. I would say, you could definitely take advantage of me, but as I'm saying, I'm gullible. I'm also very vigilant. Yeah, if I look at you and take one look at you, I can honestly kind of break it down and feel like you are giving vibes that you're nice. But like you just said, the one time that they dick you or you're just like, dude, I'm
time
done.
To move on.
Dude, it's But you not only you were just talking about getting into fighting and stuff like that, but leading up to that, we were talking a little bit off air. We kind of know each other because this dude sitting across from me is also my rival, technically. Even just back in high school and stuff.
We still hate each other.
Yeah, we played football. We went to Licking Heights. I went to Watkins. And this dude laid my shit out. I vividly remember coming out of a sweep, just seeing this dude crush me. I mean, did I bounce back up? Sure, but I took that. Oh, dude, and you guys definitely were a hard-hitting fucking team, and I feel like that's leading into your tenacity, your ambition and stuff, your drive to get you into the next level. And I guess you can more allude to it and talk to a little bit about your ambitions of reaching your goal. I feel like has this always been your goal?
I won't say always been my goal. It kind of just fell into my lap. But I have gotten to a point where I'm just like, I'm very competitive. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's just a part of me.
Gotta have it.
And it's not that I need to win everything or win every argument or win anything. It's just that if I'm doing something, whether it's this, whether it's like costume, like I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah.
That is. Like, I don't care if it's competing. And then if I think my best can be the best, that's a different story.
Yeah.
And that's what my goal would be, is just to be my best. It doesn't always have to be like, okay, I need to be number one or do this. It's like, nope, I just think I'm capable of it. So sorry, whoever's in that spot.
And I feel like that's really important because especially now that you've kind of made it to the point where most people would either make or break their opportunity, where it's like, you know, you're at the pinnacle now, where it's like you're at the show. You know what I mean? This is the big time. And it's like I just feel like that's really important, you know. And how do you see like this go? Like realistically wise, how do you see yourself fitting in with?
First
Where
off,
you're at now?
what weight are you
Yeah, we
gonna
were
be
trying
at?
to discuss it.
It's lightweight, correct?
Lightweight and welterweight. I'll be.
So you're 65, 70, or 55?
There is no 65 yet.
They need to.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
I've always thought that it should
So
be
it's
every 5 pounds.
You're doing 55 to 70.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in with the dogs. Oh,
That's
dude.
all there is.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, and that's
wow.
And the part of me, or even like the little vigilante in me, is like, yes, let's push ourselves.
Yeah,
Like,
I
'cause
mean,
that's
you're-
Yeah, it's the most. It makes the most sense to be like a competitive person. You
Yeah.
want to fight the best. I think that anybody would want to do that. You know, well, not anybody, but you know what I mean. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as people who align with the same interests or things like that, and make it to the UFC or whatever may it be, want to fight the best. I mean, I feel like that's natural for sure.
Who is the champion at 170? It's not Sean, is it?
Nope.
No,
at
he's like-
70,
I think he's 145.
180. Sean
Edward.
Strickland is
Oh
definitely.
no, I thought you meant Sean O'Malley.
Oh, no, Sean O'Malley's
he's
tiny.
Leon Edwards.
Oh, okay.
Rocky.
Okay, so you
Rocky.
like okay,
Yeah.
so that's
God damn.
dude.
They're all dogs. That
So
was
Joe
Fucking
or
Hamzat.
no
I just
or
moved up to 85.
I was about to say.
Oh, that's right.
Who knows? That would be a
Well,
fucking.
what do you walk? Because Tyler said you walk around at like 180. You have some cuts. You
Yeah.
do some cutting.
Hey, you're a big dude.
Oh, tell them that again.
Yeah, you're a big
oh,
dude.
dude.
About 5'4", but I'm big.
Yeah, he's wide. Like, let's go. But
Yeah.
okay, that's a hard cut.
Yeah, I'm about. I have been getting back down because I'm like, my goal was we're gonna be in shape, we're gonna be healthy,
Yeah.
and we're gonna be ready to go back in as soon as we get surgery done.
Okay.
So I've been getting my weight down. Before I cut for the last fight that was supposed to be in UFC, I was about 215, and then I just did 215.
Sorry,
to-
what?
Holy
Yeah.
shit, dude.
So 215 to 70.
Is that what's a healthy weight? What do you feel the healthiest jumping around?
Am I getting fat shamed?
No, I mean, hold on, 215 at 5'4"? That's
Dude,
dense,
I'm like
my boy.
210 right now. I mean, granted, I'm not like fucking yoked or anything. but
That's
I'm 210.
big. I mean,
Jesus Christ,
I'm
dude.
5'10". The biggest I've ever gotten is 210, and that was hard, dude. I was like, do you like your food?
I do.
What's a big no for you? Like, are you Little Debbie's guy? Are you ice cream? Are
It's
you?
ice cream. I gotta,
Oh!
I gotta stay away from it.
It's a whole tub for you, too?
I carry a cross around me and I just
Oh,
ice cream.
repent.
Yeah, get away from me.
Are you like sit down, just the whole tub? It's gone.
Yeah. Can't have it.
I'm
a
the
little
same
bit
way.
like
I
that.
love ice cream, dude.
My son, I have a 10-year-old and a 1-year-old, and huge gap, I know, but he's starting to eat out of the tub, and his mom's like, hell no. And I have to be. I mean, that's me. I mean, I ain't getting a bowl. What do you need a bowl for, dude? Just eat out of the tub, like. Oh, dude, ice cream's so
I ate
bad,
with my
but
bare hands.
oh hell, that might be a little cold, but okay, cool. So this is what I'm saying. You're a normal dude.
Oh, yeah.
You're a normal guy. Like I said, we kind of grew up with you right down the road. Stone throws away. He knew you, and you also have a brother or
Adrian.
Adrian.
yeah that yeah. You guys
He kind of made this thing happen. Thanks, Adrian.
yeah. Shout out him.
Adrian.
But you guys have always known about us, or we've known about you, and it's always been through football and stuff. And like I said, I alluded to it, like you guys came out of the backfield. That's what I remembered. So it's kind of cool to see, I guess, put a person to a face now and know that you're like you're just a normal guy that you've been striving, you've been grinding, and now you're almost to your goal of making it to or you are in the UFC, you're signed contract. I know Daniel alluded to it before jumping on, and Amy, before you got here. What's the first fight that you're going to get into, or do you even know? And then from that, you're already going to beat this guy. I'm already rooting for you.
Yeah.
That's already we're already on to the next one.
Watch party.
But
Coming
like,
soon.
is there someone that you're wanting to fight, or is there someone that you're wanting to get to the next level that you're like, that's the guy?
Well, good thing about 55 and 70 is there are dogs.
Well, and there's a lot of people.
The problem with me just joining and being the new guy is I don't have no words. To
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
They don't care. They
So-
would be like, "You're gonna fight this guy." We go, "Okay."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't. It's like pretty much right now, I'm the best slave there is. Be like,
Okay.
Fight this guy. I go, "Okay."
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Company man.
Yeah.
then I guess kind of spin out of that. What is a guy your dream fight? I would say.
It just depends on the hype. If Patty still has his hype, I would fight.
Oh,
Patty.
Yeah,
that
we were
see
just
that.
talking about him.
Okay. See now on my
think I-
notes over
Hey,
here.
because we both get big, so we can have like an eating contest beforehand.
Oh, dude.
do a cut and then
Blimps up. That'd be awesome.
we can do an eating
Oh,
Dude, he
contest
does get
afterwards.
huge.
oh, he
Yeah.
gets huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he.
Unhealthy huge. It's like unhealthy huge.
So Tyler, him in like his whole journey, he blimps up and drops down a lot too, and same with his dad. Blah blah blah. And I wrestled. I know a little bit about like the whole weight cuts and stuff like that, but I've heard that like when you do bloom up like that and then come back down like kind of fast, it's really tough on your body. Like, do you typically do that, or are you more you try and stay around 20 pounds overweight, 15? What's a solid weight where you're like, I know I could get back down to that?
If people would actually because the last 2 years I've been having hell to find fights. Like
Okay.
it's been
I've heard-
dog shit.
yes.
Yeah. So if people gave me 6 to 8 weeks, I can make. I mean, realistically, 8 to 12 weeks would be nice for 55.
Okay.
And then anything shorter than that, I'm like, cool, let's go 70. But these guys would accept fights on like a 3-week notice. I'm trying to 4-week notice, maybe
Yeah.
a month and a half, and I'm trying to get 40, 50 pounds off in a month and a half. And then I'm like, I'm gonna try. We're gonna fucking see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we need someone to stay there because otherwise they'd go be like, yeah, I'll fight them, and then they see who they're fighting or whatever's happening. I don't know what's going on. They get hurt. Who cares? And then they go, I'm not fighting this guy. And then I get excited. And then I'm like, no, fuck this. Like, why am I going to kill myself for
Yeah.
people that are not going to fight me? And I'm like, it's been on and off for 2 years. And if you watch my Miami career, I fought 6 times in a year.
Yeah.
And then
You probably liked that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to be active. So
Mhm.
then it just got to a point where I'm like, cool. And then my last 2 fights were at 55, and I'm like, beautiful. And then I'm like, cool. My pro is at 55, 55, 55, and then people slowly stopped doing it, and they're like, oh, what about 65? And I'm like, fine. So then we did 65, then we did 65, then we did 60, and I'm like, okay. And then as we try to go back down to 55, I've been having little cuts difficulty, but it was more about the time frame. Like people are just like here, and I think what they wanted me to say is no. I'm like, no, we're gonna try.
Yeah.
Well, they want you to kind of turn it away. Like I don't know if I could do that.
I would say I definitely I try and watch as many fights in the UFC as I can, but what I am a big buff on is podcasts. I love podcasts. I very rarely listen to music, but a lot of the podcasts I listen to are guys that are former UFC guys, such as Brendan Schaub, the Fighter and the Kid. Of course, Joe Rogan, like he'll break all that stuff down, and then Brendan Schaub does a separate, like where he just breaks down each fight. And I like to listen to a lot of those. And that's typically where I get my knowledge on the UFC. But when they're talking about weight and stuff like that, Brendan always alludes to, like, if you're going to the UFC and you miss fucking weight one time, Daddy Dana does not like that. Like, even Hamzat, like, when that's always,
That
like,
was a nightmare.
but it's always been a nail, like, not a chip, I guess, yeah, a chip in his armor is like, bro, you didn't make that weight. You were supposed to fight this dude, didn't make the weight. Like, you saying that, like, you're 170 to 155, and, like, does that ever, have you ever sat down with maybe your management team or something, just locked in on a weight? This is the weight I am going in at. Like,
we're planning on 55.
55.
But I'll take short notice fights at 70.
Okay.
Because
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I'll just get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay at 55, stay at 55, stay at 55. But once I win my belt at 55, I'm going to 70. And then I got a whole bunch
dude,
of
I
boys
like that
after me.
confidence.
And I'm leaving. Like, I'm like, people are like, you like fighting? I go, a part of me does, but a part of me is scared of that person.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like,
Cool.
Because that person is the ego. That person is the person that's like, let's just fuck this guy up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what would happen? Who cares?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, I care because I don't want to go to jail. But like beyond anything, I enjoy fighting, but I have a love-hate relationship with fighting. And I'm like, cool, keep me on that balance because the moment I love it too much, get me out of there. And the moment I hate it, get me out of there. Just keep me right in the middle.
That's awesome. Like, that's cool that you could put that into words because I feel like
it does get blurry. Well, it gets blurry for people.
A lot of guys, I feel like, think a lot like you. Like, there is always a little bit of that demon inside you where it's like, damn, I'm feeding him a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do. And what you just said beautifully, that's
yeah, it does draw it up pretty well. Because
Yeah,
I do agree.
holy
I
cow.
feel like a lot of guys have that in you, whether you're like an athlete or whatever the case may be. You can just be a
Just
Joe
a big
Schmo.
tough guy.
Yeah. Or just even the Joe Schmo, you know, you kind of have to take those things and really realize them in yourself where it's like maybe I am indulging in some things a little too much.
Right.
And I'm getting a little crazy with it or whatever, you know what I mean? But I do want to spin off and kind of talk because you said the surgery, and some people may not know what that was about. And I kind of want to talk about UFC 290 because that was the card that you were supposed to be on, correct? And just kind of talk about what happened, like the process of and how they caught it.
Okay, this is a long ass. You want from whenever they contacted?
Well,
me?
yeah, we'll start with how was that call made? I would say.
So it's normal week. I'm just eating, having fun, mostly eating ice cream. And
mostly eating ice cream.
I'm serious. It's getting better, and my weight's getting down. I'm about $195 right now. I'm gonna say, but I'm
Dude, that is, oh my god,
Yeah.
That's stacked.
155.
If we had a scale, I'd step on it and be like, it would probably be two something.
Let's say you fluctuate about 5
But
pounds.
I checked the other day, so 95 is good, and we're heading down. The goal is to get lean at like 187, low 82s. But anyways, I'm eating whatever I want. We just got back from a fight, which if anyone hasn't seen it, that LFA fight against Mike Roberts, that was like when it comes out, or it's already out. But defensively, I'm like, that makes me happy. And a lot of things that I do, like it's always been very hard for me to go like, fuck yeah, you did your thing.
Yeah.
But defensively, I'm like, okay.
Meaning you were in guard, like, are you saying like you were shelling up, like you liked like how your head was moving, like
when you go through it, you go, okay, how many punches did he land?
Yeah.
Yeah, happy with your performance.
Yes.
Okay.
Defensively.
Yeah,
Offensively,
defensively.
I'm like, oh, I need to put more stuff together. I need to do this.
Is that not to cut you off? Is that the fight where you tackled him through
The
that
cage?
cage?
Yeah.
That was on Sports Center.
dude, I was gonna say that's insane. So
Praise God for that.
Yeah,
We'll get back to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But, so I'm just chilling. I'm a little fat. Just got over my fight, so I'm like, cool. What
Fat.
am I gonna do?
Doing your thing.
Yeah. So then I'm scheduling a whole bunch of meetings, or not meetings, but interviews with other people, kind of like this, except on the phone with other podcasters, other people kind of doing this, and they're asking me different questions about going through the cage, and that's all
Yeah.
I really care about, because that had a lot of
it's
hype.
big, yeah.
So I had
I didn't want to blow that out of proportion.
No,
'cause I feel like everybody
No,
probably. thought
you're
that.
good. So we're doing that. Anyways, I was on an interview on a phone call, and I'm getting a text, and it's my management company. I'm going, what? Like, I'm looking at it, and I'm going, like, they try to call me, so I
Yeah, like,
declined. And I'm
whatever.
like, yeah. So I'm like, oh yeah. So they're doing this, and they're like, hey, when's the next time we're gonna fight? And I'm looking at it, and I'm going, shit. Who knows? I might fight this week. So they text me, and they're like, hey, would you be a couple days earlier than that? They were like, would you be willing to step in for Jack? And I'm like, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
fight Jack. I'm like a lot of people are so scared to lose or so scared to push themselves. I'm like, no. Worst case scenario, he shows me where my holes are.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, you learn from your losses. We've talked about this before, where your biggest learning moments are your losses. Like, it's important to take losses. Like, you definitely.
But
figure
to
some
be
things out.
fair, it is nice to have that. Oh, never
Yeah.
fucking lost.
Yeah.
On like.
Not
when-
everybody can be.
Say your
Khabib,
resume.
though.
This is my fucking resume,
Yeah.
buddy. Like, you know what I mean?
It does look nice.
Mhm.
I don't think I'll ever care about it, but it's just like either point, it does look nice
Yeah.
for other people, for fans, for anybody
Mhm.
that's trying to get interested in the sport.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But they text me and they're trying to call me. I'm ignoring that. Then my coach calls me. I'm ignoring that. I'm just trying to finish this interview, and they're asking me, "Hey, when's the next time we're gonna fight?" And I'm literally like, "Oh well, I'm gonna be fighting this week." And they're like, "Can you like tell us more about that?" And I go, "I don't think so."
Yeah.
And I'm just going through it. And,
Yeah.
so then that happens, and that's at I want to say they first called me on like a I want to say 9 days out, and asked me if I would be willing to. 2 days later, which I like at that point, I'm like, oh, they must have forgot about me. And like, who wants to fight a nobody? I'm like, cool, that's fine. At least the UFC knows I was down.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's been 2 days. So now we're a week out, and then I'm doing this interview a week out. I'm like, hey, you're in the fight, and I go, cool, fuck. So I'm right. Yeah, I just go, okay, yep, I'm fighting this week. As soon as I got off that, put my silent suit on, and I just started taking off.
Oh, dude.
And then so then that weekend to get to like the medicals and everything. That weekend, so we fly out that next day. So now we're 6 days out. Fly out that next day. Like I said, we checked our weight. We were about 215, and we had to cut from 215 to 170, which wasn't like
It's not earth breaking.
I thought we were going to
It's tough.
155, and I'm like, dear Lord, we better be praying.
right. It would have been. I would have been looking like
Mm-hmm.
He would have been
My
hurt.
man on
No, they would have had to drag you there.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
this is our boy.
Yeah.
He's on the scale. Come
That
on.
shit's scary, man. Seeing some of those dudes that do the weigh-ins and
Oh,
shit.
dude.
But-
I mean, Connor, Hamza, all
Oh,
those dudes,
man.
like they've looked like
Yeah,
scary
they look
looking.
terrible.
Yeah, you look at him, you're like, I don't know if I
Yeah,
want to
that's
do that.
unhealthy. It looks unhealthy.
But yeah, so we get there, we fly out. The first day is mostly just making sure we're in the rooms.
Yeah.
That next day we wake up, it's okay. We had to redo all of our medicals, so we had to make sure they were UFC ready. So we just fought 2 weeks ago, and we had our medicals from then. They didn't accept one of them.
I'd probably,
Oh,
it's
shit.
probably for the best. You know what I mean? I mean,
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
They just want to
Yeah.
be sure.
Right.
Mhm.
So we had so the last thing we had to do was a physical, and then the first thing we had to do was an eye exam, and then so we did eye exam. We came back. They're like, dude, you got good eyeballs, and I do. I got some good fucking eyeballs.
you got some good eyeballs, brother.
Listen, they try to take them away, but they're like, hey, so you're gonna be fighting in the UFC? I'm like, yeah. They're like, you got to remember us, and I go, I already forgot you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Damn.
But they're very nice people. So we did the eyes that day. Our eyes, we came back. I'm cutting weight. So then after eyes, we had a CT scan. Cool for that day. So we did that CT scan. Come back, trying to cut weight. Next day comes on. We have media. Pretty much fucking 4 hours, 5 hours of media. We
Holy
do that.
shit.
So I had to cut weight before media. We did media, and I'm just moving along. And then we have to cut weight after media. And then after that, they're like, hey, so this is Thursday. Thursday, they come up, they go, hey, you weren't moving on your CT scan. By the way, if any doctor's watching that from that, I didn't even fucking blink. I was so still. I didn't fart, I didn't blink. I'm like, and if you haven't been in
You didn't move on your.
No.
That's
They were-
good,
well, they
right?
were- they were
that's
asking
good.
him, like, you
that's
didn't
what they were
move,
telling
right?
him. They're like, no, it's too blurry. They didn't see it. And I go, ain't no way I moved. Ain't
Yeah.
no way. Because at that point, I was making sure I didn't freak out because this thing's
Yeah.
circling around you. Your whole body's in that bitch, and it's yeah, it's like you hear it. I'm just closing my eyes and go, I'm not moving. I'm not, because I'm not doing this shit again. So it was 30 minutes of me trying to sit
Oh,
still.
jeez.
Yeah, and this thing's just going around. You can hear it cycling. I'm like, I'm about to blow up or something. But that was an experience all in itself. And I'm like, there's no way I moved. And they're like, hey, are you allergic to iodine or some contrast they're talking about? And I'm like, no. So then they stab me, or they put iodine in it, have me do a CT scan or
A head one.
yeah. So now we're doing the CT scan with the contrast. Earlier was the MRI for like upper torso / head, and then we did that for 10 minutes. I'm walking out and I'm like, cool, are we good? And the nurse is like, oh yeah, and I'm like, oh, that was the fakest oh yeah I've ever seen in my life.
Damn.
What's going on? And I'm like looking around and I see this doctor still on her computer not looking at me, and I go, my head's worst case scenario. I'm like,
Yeah.
something is wrong with my brain.
The hell is that?
We might be dying.
The hell is that? Oh.
Oh, that was me.
That ain't me.
Anyway.
Put that over there.
Yeah.
So-
I was watching Shrek earlier for those people.
Oh no, you're good.
I have
Shrek's a great movie.
I have
It just
Lord-
caught me off guard. I was like,
I have Lord Farquaad costume in my car. That wasn't.
That's
But
what
I-
you're being tonight.
But I was studying.
Oh my
So
god.
that was. Oh yeah, please. But anyway, so we do that CT scan. I'm looking at this nurse, and I just got immediately like fake, like just tell me the truth.
Yeah.
And then the doctor's not looking at me, and I'm like, worst case scenario. Like in my head, I'm like, okay, what's worst case scenario? I'm either dying or I got cancer. Either way, I'm like, this is not something. And I try not to think about it too much now because I do believe a lot in I won't say like speak it into existence.
Yeah.
But saying it and repeating it and meaning it, I think that has a lot of
That's positive.
a lot
I
of
like
power
that.
behind it. So I try not to even like I'm not as negative as used to be, but like I'm just like, okay, we'll do that.
Yeah,
So,
it's like the law of attraction.
yeah, kind of. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at this chick and the doctor, and I'm like, motherfucker, okay, what's going on? So then I grab my stuff and I leave, and I'm like, you guys have a good day. And then we get back, and I'm waiting for some bad news, waiting for something. They're like, nope. So then I get my stuff on, start cutting weight again. We're only about 9 pounds away right now, so I'm kind of just chilling. It's Thursday, we weigh in Friday. We got our last little cut Thursday night, and that's what we're getting rid of right now. We do that. I get to meet like Ian Gary and stuff like that. They're over there just.
Oh, that's
chilling.
a dog.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
That's a fun time.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they had the Adesanya vocals up there. Everybody was up
Seriously,
there.
you got to meet him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
so
didn't go
cool.
up to them, but they were training and everything.
Yeah.
Dave, one of my coaches, got up and he's a big fangirl about it. So
Oh, dude, I'd love to meet Volk. Volk sounds sweet. So does Izzy.
Oh, they're both savages.
Oh, dude.
But no, after that, I'm like, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe something.
Yeah, just overthinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's big time. A lot of feelings, stuff
Exactly.
like that.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So then we go in, and it's Friday morning now. We weigh in. We come back from weigh-ins, and they're like, oh, and by the way, the UFC's fucking dope because they have the whole hydration kit for you. So you're like, cool. I don't have to think. Drink. They're like, don't eat until you finish number 3. And I'm like, cool. So then I'm drinking everything. I go to sleep. So we just get back. I'm going to sleep. I wake up with my coach just like panting. I'm like, what's going on? And like, they didn't accept your physical form. I go, okay. So then we get up and we have to go do a physical. And the doctor's asking me all these weird questions and had me do all this stuff, jumping jacks and stuff. And I'm like, I just got done cutting weight. What do I do all this horse shit?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, take it easy on me, bro.
So I'm doing all this. I'm like, I'm still not even hungry. Like my body's like still trying to adapt. And I'm pissed like 6 times trying to do that physical. It was like a 40-minute physical. And
Like you couldn't piss, or you had to piss that many
I had to
times?
pee. Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
I just got done
Yeah.
chugging like half a. I was like, probably like,
So you're rehydrating at this point?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've rehydrated. I've slept for about 2 hours, and then now they woke me back up, and I'm here. So by the time we get back from the physical, my management company and my other coach, my MMA coach, Tim, is there, and I'm going,
This ain't good.
yeah, what's up? Because they're just standing there. I'm like, you could just.
Yeah,
like,
you
they're
feel
waiting.
it in the air.
Like they're just waiting for me. I'm like, what's up? They're like, you want good news or bad news? I go, let me pee. So I go pee, come back. They're like, just hit me with the bad news. What's up? And in my head, I'm like, Jack can't fight. I'm like, that's the only
he
bad
got
news there
hurt or
is.
something.
It's like I already got over the fact that like if there was something wrong with me, they would have told me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool, over my head. And then they're like, you have a rare brain disease called moya moya. And I'm like,
It's called what?
moya moya sounds like a fish, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That
like
or
from Hawaii.
like, yeah, Hawaii. I was like, what? Wait, what?
No, I was like, damn, you guys got me hungry. But no, I'm like, moya moya. And then he's explaining it to me. They're apparently on the base of my right side of my brain, there's a artery that is clogging, and it slowly clogs up over time. And usually by the time you hit 40, late 40s, you're seasoned up and already dead. So it's probably
So it's a blessing that we found this.
it early.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
It is. But what the other name for this is called puff of smoke, because usually when you find it, it's already too late.
Yeah, it's almost like the Widowmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's wild.
so they're telling me this, and I'm like, okay, so I got a brain disease. They're like, yep. I go, it's treatable. Looking around, they go, yep. I go, cool.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, take me out back. Let's get this done and let's go.
Last question. I go, can I fight? They go, no. I go, Immediately, I'm
They
like,
said no
sucks,
butt.
man.
Hopefully they hit you with the butt.
They just said I couldn't fight right then. That night, I can't fight.
I was about to say,
after I get surgery.
oh, dude, if they wouldn't have said butt after, I would have been like,
they did.
oh, my career.
I
is
didn't give them a
completely
chance.
over.
Yeah, as soon as they said it was treatable, I go dope.
Okay.
And then I'm like, honestly, I always knew there was something wrong with me. Like to be
Got
like
some screws loose.
like, to be honest, like my mom always told me I was special. I didn't know I was 1 in a million.
Oh,
I'm
dude.
like,
That's
here we go.
crazy, though.
Great way to look at it.
And honestly, like, I wonder, I'm kind of curious as to, like, you know how people say, like, when you dehydrate yourself, your brain and your head are the last thing to get rehydrated. It's the first thing to dehydrate. It's the last thing to get rehydrated.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think the weight cut maybe helped them catch that in a way?
Maybe.
from cutting that much water.
There's so many small things, and we'll get back to that thing I said earlier about going through the cage. But there's so many small things that I'm like had to happen, or didn't happen for me to go like, there's no way there's not some sort of higher power. Because you go through it and you go, okay, this disease it doesn't just pop out of nowhere. This disease it starts when you're born.
Mm-hmm.
When I was born and I had my umbilical cord wrapped around my neck.
Yeah.
So I was dead for 11 minutes.
Holy
and
shit!
Then the doctors resuscitated me and brought me back to life. So I was from the beginning. God's
good
been trying to
doctors.
murder me.
Holy
Yeah.
cow! 11 minutes?
Yeah. So then
That's insane.
I was blue as fuck.
Oh, I bet.
My mom was
wild.
like, that makes sense because I'm half black. My mom was like, that makes sense. He's a black baby. The doctor was like, no.
They're like, this isn't.
He ain't.
He ain't supposed to be that.
So man, he's light skinned. He's
light tit. I'm real light.
Yeah.
Well, is that the first? Now, you probably are a lot like me. Maybe you don't go to the doctor a lot. Okay, a lot of guys don't. Okay, that's probably. Is that not the first time you've ever gotten a CT scan or anything?
Ever.
I'm thinking
That's wild.
that's why. Because if you ever gotten a CT scan before that, a doctor would have picked it up because like you just said.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I would say if it's from the birth to what, like, till now, like you said, till 45, that's when you start like, you're gone.
Yeah.
They probably would have seen that. And kind of crazy, my grandma just texted me or called me this week and said like she had to go to the hospital because she had something in her brain. Bro, I'm a fucking worrywurm, and I think it's because I'm a new dad, like, blah, blah, blah. But, dude, when anyone brings up brain anything, I'm like, that's it. Like, I'm just glad that they caught that, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe all of us need to go get a CT scan, sit in that thing
shit checked.
30 minutes. But that, I mean, like you just said, a higher power, that's a blessing.
Yeah,
dude.
that's amazing.
Because I would hate to lose 45, we get this text or get on Facebook, and it's like, damn, I don't want to be like, oh, I played against that dude, and like now we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and a lot of people, anyone who knows me like personally knows like I don't have a lot of dreams. The only thing that I really care about is I want to be a dad. Like I in this position, I'm jealous of you.
Oh, dude, and
I'm
like, so fucking cool.
Because
that's awesome.
but so I'm going through this and I'm getting over. I'm like I'm just trying to put together why so many things are happening in my life, and I'm like I don't get to think about it. Who cares? Just go on to the next thing. No next things, and I'm just piling shit on top of my plate. And as long as you're busy, you don't get to think about too much mental thing. And I'm like, cool. Put everything on my plate. Run it. And then we get to this position, and I'm like, I needed this to happen. Everything else in my life, bad, good, sideways, I needed that to happen. The percentage of me going through that cage, it's a double lock mechanism. So it was gravity fed, and then you had to turn it to open that cage.
Jesus.
So I had to hit the cage hard enough for that double lock mechanism to go up, and then also somehow get it to turn.
Hold on, I've been hit by this, dude. I could see it happening.
Have you seen the
totally
video?
See it happening. Yeah, just like 100%.
It's fucking hysterical.
Now, to be fair,
actually.
the dude you threw to was a big son of a gun too. So you guys had
he's
some
pretty- he's
momentum
pretty
throwing into that.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good dude.
Yeah, dude, that's
He's a good
insane.
dude. He's a good dude too. I believe he's a nurse. Like he's just
Oh,
yeah,
really?
he's just going at it, but he's a good dude as well.
Probably once he got thrown through the cage, he was able to fix himself.
we all got fixed. Who knows? But yeah, it's just the percentage or the probability that I got to go through that cage, me out of everybody. Cool. That's one thing. And then you go through it and you go, everything else that happened in my life, me wanting to like even to this day I go, I'll still play football. I tell my management company all the day, when the Browns need another running back, let me know.
Yeah.
I'll take 3 weeks, I'll start going back to the weight room. I'll just do some sprints.
Yeah.
We'll change.
Back at it.
Yeah, we'll change.
Nick Chubb, who?
Yeah. His fucking knee, dude.
Oh.
Only tore his MCL.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, he
Fuck,
only
dude.
tore his MCL.
I would have been terrified.
Yeah, I mean, especially him being in the position that I'm a huge Browns fan, dude. And but yeah, the replay was fucking terrible. Did you see the video?
Scary.
No.
Holy
no. I don't like
shit.
looking at that shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I don't
yeah.
know. I'm opposite of that. It doesn't really bother me. I definitely feel bad, but it's like one of those. It's like a train wreck, bro. Like you just can't not look at it. You know what
Oh, I
mean?
get
Like,
that.
That's so bad.
yeah, it was terrible.
But to get back to the point,
Yeah.
So like before anything, like my whole goal, like why I even fight right now, is because I know this is the best way for my family, future family, to get set up.
Yeah.
It's like okay, part of me hates it, part of me loves it. Cool.
Yeah.
what can this bring me? And
Yeah,
then when I see all the avenues fighting can bring me, I'm like, if I wanted to go to acting, if I
Well, I'm
wanted to
glad
do
you're
this, if I wanted to
thinking
do this-
about that
Yeah.
too.
And I'm like, the last thing I want to do is, so I have a stepdad, which I love to death. He's my dad, but I didn't grow up with, and I don't know why my mom said it, but it was a lot of times she's like, oh, he's not your real dad. I'm like, okay. So I just, from a child, I just knew that my stepdad wasn't my real dad.
Yeah.
And I think it was from a sense of if she was in my position, she would want to tell me. I don't think it was like a form of hate or hate on her.
Yeah.
But,
I guess. Yeah.
But like in general, like when I was a kid, I just grew up it was a constant thought of, okay, my real dad doesn't want me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. It never, like, nothing ever came up to me. It was always negative thinking instead of being like, this person, my stepdad, he loves me. And I didn't need to be his blood. Like, it took me forever. Like, it took me until like 24, 23, I would say.
It's because you're maturing.
Yes.
You're understanding.
It's definitely a weird like conundrum for a child to ponder on.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm a stepdad.
Fuck
Yeah.
I have a 1-year-old that's mine, and then I have a 10-year-old that my wife had at 16. So, dude, I was from a family of like, and a lot of times I'm looking at my 10-year-old and I'm like, brother, like I'm trying to relate with him. So, was your stepfather? He came into your life earlier?
Yes.
Like how early?
Like
Baby. You're a
Yes,
baby.
baby.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, and I like you just said, I'm glad that you're, I guess, mature enough and old enough to be like, you know what? Like, I don't think my mom was being like, he's just your stepdad, blah, blah, blah. It's more like, hey, this is your stepfather. This isn't your real father, but you should treat this man as your father. You know what I mean? And I feel like just meeting you today and stuff like that, it sounds like that's the type of person you are. You would never like shame a step parent, be like, you know what I mean? Like, whenever I see that,
did a good job.
it always like hurts me too, because it's like, damn, that step parent honestly is stepping up. Like, being a step parent is one of the hardest things.
It's like what I told you, my dad.
Dude, it's not.
My dad was raising 4 kids by the time he was 18, and they're not even his. Like,
It's
Three of them
insane.
were black.
No. But that's funny. But yeah, man, there's like, and I kind of seen that too in them, is where like they still talk to my dad more than they talk to their own fathers. Like they know their dads, but they understand that the situation that they were in led them to have to look at my father as their dad. You know what I mean? Where it was like, and they got a lot of respect for him.
You don't have to answer this or anything, but have you ever met your real father or anything?
Very complicated. So I don't know if he's Adrian. Boom. If he is my full brother, then it should be his dad.
Okay.
And that's what's been the gossip's been about, and his side of the family's been trying to hit me up for ever now, and I do what I can, and I'm just being nice. But it's like, okay, so if you guys were my family and you guys didn't say anything until I made it into UFC.
I'm not gonna lie, that's exactly the point I was just trying to make. Is like people like, oh, okay, hold on.
And then so the good thing about me being like I would say I'm a borderline people pleaser. Like I enjoy.
Oh, brother, I am. It sounds like
me
you're
too.
a lot like me, dude.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, jeez.
I enjoy making people happy.
Yeah.
But like that other side of that is me being petty as fuck. And you like that's my ego, that's my dark side, that's my shadow, whatever you want to say. And that person is willing to take you to the grave for no fucking reason. Yeah. Just because.
Well, you did them wrong, and like what you're saying is like, hey, where have you been my entire life?
Well, all of a sudden, when I'm an established young man now, it's like now you want to reconcile and shit. Now I understand. That's a weird position to be put in.
Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of guys or girls like that are in your guys' positions, meaning you are starting to see a little bit of the light. You're starting to see a little bit of the fame. You're starting to see, like how kind of spinning a little bit, alluding back to what you just said, how you had to do new health stuff, brother. You almost made it to the NFL of like a different. You know what I mean? Like I know what I'm saying is like you were shooting these like things. It's like those are the girls wrapping up the guy's ankles. Those. Like anything and everything you need, here you go. Like you made it, dude. This is the cream of the crop. You're a professional.
We're still trying to make it to the NFL. We haven't stopped.
Yeah. Look out, Nick Chubb.
We're coming. No, and that's the cool thing is I've always been built, but I don't lift. Like not
just
anymore.
naturally gifted.
It's kind of like Tyree. Tyree's like that.
Yeah.
Stupid blessed. I didn't even take like I was scared to take protein powder because I thought it was illegal until senior year. Yeah.
We weren't getting checked in high school, bro.
I should have. I should have fucking shot up because I would have been.
Oh, but they were. Well, I mean,
should have done that.
back in the day, there were some boys that I knew. Wait, I'm talking Granville.
Yeah,
There were a couple. Did you guys play them?
Yeah.
I was
LCL.
Well, I know that, but you clearly had to have been. When did you start? When were you starting? Football, like varsity football. What year? 14? Because I'm older than you. I'm 26.
I graduated in 2017.
So I graduated a year before.
Yeah. So 15
is when you started.
15
So
or 16.
you wouldn't have been able to play against these dudes. The guys that I'm talking about.
Yo, I think we were sophomores when we played.
Yeah, and I was only on special. Like
shit.
I lettered, but I was special teams, and that's the only thing I got to see these dudes up close.
I'm still on special teams.
Stop. But dude, these dudes. I mean. Remington Larson was his name.
Yeah,
bro. I mean, even they he looks
Thursday
Night Lights or whatever.
Now.
Even the dude would like zoom in on him and they'd be like, "Damn, that boy's got some arms on." Like they were even like alluding to it. I'm just like,
he's
I'm
an
surprised.
enormous dude.
I mean, clearly you never had to do any of that, but
No, I should have.
You'd have been real Jackson.
Now USADA's going. I'm like,
I heard that they're kind of falling out right now. The UFC and USADA.
No, they're done.
Yeah, they're done.
That's what I heard.
No,
I heard
that's been
UFC's
done.
going to do their own thing.
Yeah, I mean, it would be good for them to save some money.
Did you see the new? Well, there's another company kind of coming in, but I think the UFC is going to have a little more control over it. Like I said, the only reason I know a decent bit about this is because I listen to all these podcasts.
They wanted to bring
the UFC
TRT back.
Do they?
I don't know. I don't know, but
dude. And
it's
if I was in your
me on
position,
TRT.
that's what I'm telling you.
Let's
Do
make
the
a
next
fucking
coming of
magic
Vitor
weapon.
Belfort, son.
But
gross
what they
six
didn't
inches.
like about
He's
USADA
a
was
big fucking dude.
they were waking these dudes up. Like, say you had a fight the next day, 6 a.m., bro, get up, we're checking you after they've already checked them 3 times.
Yeah, you're dehydrated. You're just trying to get some sleep.
Pump the brakes. Like, I think they had a little bit of power, and I think they abused it a little too much. And Daddy Dana out there, he runs a tight ship, and like I think enough of his fighters were like, this is getting out of control.
Yeah.
You have guys that they looked ginormous, but like you just said, you're just naturally gifted. They were getting tested 47 times in 1 year, and it's like, bro, I fought like 3 times this year.
Yeah.
Are you just
And you're waking me up at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
like,
so
what the
I
fuck?
think they kind of overstepped their boundaries, but the new logo for the new thing coming in, it almost looks like a winking emoji or something like that.
I think that's an ongoing joke.
where
The UFC is going to have more control of it. So there's a lot of talks about how
and
think
Connor's coming back.
well they think that most people like, and Joe Rogan talks about it a lot, how he thinks that like TRT stuff like that. He's like, let him fucking do it. He's like, if you want to see peak performance, and he also alludes to like Vitor Belfort as like his main point of being like, when he was on TRT, he's a fucking world beater, beat the shit out of everybody. He's like, in the second they took him off of it, he's just fucking, he was average. You know what I mean?
Right. But then it goes like, if there's 2 ways of it. Put superheroes in there. I'm sure people would love that shit.
Yeah.
Or put people that are just like normal.
Yeah,
people
let's
and
see
have
healthy
them
dog.
Because if you can be the best normal and you got TRT, like what's that? Is that gonna, and this guy that's on TRT, like if he's normal, he can't beat you. Like what's the difference between 2 people? It's like, okay, well now he's gonna be at his athletic prime. Put them both on the same shit, and then go at it. It's either we all do it,
or
none
no
of us.
one.
Yeah,
and I'm glad you brought that up because in a lot of MMA, a lot of jiu-jitsu, I'm more in that realm because of Tyler and stuff.
This. Where's the bathroom at?
Yeah. We're gonna take a quick break and then we'll be right back. We're gonna jump into a little more TRT and a little that
I might
kind
just
of
piss
stuff.
off the porch. Is what's happening.
That's exactly what we
Yeah. But we're back and we were just talking about like TRT, a little bit of USADA, stuff like that. And if you're anything or know anything about the UFC, you know exactly what we're talking about. But we were talking about if everyone is going to be on TRT, which means like steroids, stuff like that, then that's fine.
Things like that.
But if you're not going to be on it, and then some people are, that's where there's a fucking huge disadvantage because clearly you guys can tell what steroids do to you. It's more of a recovery thing too. There's a lot of good benefits to it, but when you start doing a little too much of it, you kind of do turn into a superhuman almost. Like it's
mean,
nuts. You kind of throw people through cages.
If I'm doing it, that's what's happening.
I feel bad for the cage.
There was Joe Rogan just posted a podcast the other day, and he was on with Dan Henderson. Which, if you don't know who Dan Henderson is, he's a
savage.
He's a fucking legend.
One of the pioneers of UFC.
He's a legend. But he was kind of saying and like hitting on the point because of TRT talk, because he fought in Pride, which, if you don't know what that is, that was a fucking savage promotion too. But Dan Henderson was clean the whole time. I mean, he's probably one of the only people in that era where he kind of had the same stance where it was like, or like Tyler, where he was like, I'm not into using that shit. Like, I'm just not going to do it. And he was still fucking knocking people dead. So he's like, I don't fucking
piss
care.
Missiles in his fist.
Yeah, dude. He's a fucking savage. But I just thought that's kind of interesting where it's like, I guess at some point, you know, you could take the stance where it's like, if everybody's doing it, I might as well do it. Or it could be like an agreement of like, if you don't want to do it, then just don't do it. But, you know, they're going to do it, so why wouldn't you? You know?
I mean, I don't mind it only because it makes sense with my name. Like, you're like, oh, he's a muscle hamster?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, lab rat. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Tell me, you didn't come up with that name for you. I was going to say, your brother came up with that name for you.
No.
Someone super close.
No.
What? Some announcer was like, this dude looks like a hamster that's jacked.
It was actually one of my high school coaches that hated me. He was
shit.
He was our offense coordinator, and I don't say he hated me, but he didn't
distaste.
Maybe you gave him a little lip or something one time?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm just weird. That's what it is. But anyways, he was like, he's like, muscle hamster. And I'm like, what? And he's like, and he starts bringing up, I think he was on the Bucks for a little bit. I'm trying to think of his name.
I know.
Like the Buccaneers?
Yeah, he was a running back for him.
I don't know.
But they call him the muscle hamster.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of running back. I mean, I think he's just alluding to like how short and jacked you are. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Lower center of gravity. I'm close. I'm closer to the earth. Okay. Just because you guys are a little taller and you guys don't know what's happening.
Oh, dude.
Listen, down here it's nice.
Hey, you're dangerous, dude. Dangerous.
I'll bite your ankles.
Well, it's not. I don't know about that. I mean, I think
in a street fight, anything goes.
I'd say I'm more worried about a suplex off the dome piece from you.
Either way, it sneaks up.
The feint to the fucking double leg to your dome piece.
Well, I do want to ask you a couple questions, and this is just me being like a fan of the UFC, and being able to talk to someone that's right there. You're at the door, bro. It's open. You're going in. What are the fears that you have? I take it you've never been in front of 40,000 people before. You've never been in, like, those lights, the walkout music. You probably done stuff like that, but I mean, on that grand scale, is there something where you're just like, damn, am I ready for this moment? And is the moment going to be too big, or do you even think about that?
The way my life's worked out so far is I've got to corner Matt Brown for his last fight, so I kind of got to see that.
Okay.
But in general, like when it comes to wrestling, we wrestle the shot every year for states.
Okay.
So you got to see that big crowd, and then you go into jiu-jitsu and you go indie world things. It's like they're that. It just got to a point where it's just silence, really.
Okay.
It's
game time.
I don't mind it. It's and I almost feed off of it. Like, so I would say like this is where my personality splits. But I have a part of me that really loves to be in front of people, even if I don't know them. And this is the part of me that's like, yes, you're made to be an entertainer, whatever that brings. Singing, dancing. It's like I'm gonna figure it out one day, but right now it's fighting. And then there's the other part of me that's like a little bit more introverted. And it's like I don't really care too much to be around like a whole crowd of people unless I know them. If I know them, then I
or
don't
care to get to know like a bunch of people.
Right. So it's like my personality is split between there. But when it comes to like any worries or fears, it took a while. Maybe when I first started, I would say about I don't know if you guys seen my last post about me being 5-0. Like that was a hard time for me.
Yeah.
Like I did not give a fuck about winning. I really just like because it's always been 50-50 with me with how fighting was, and a part of me really hated the fact that a part of me likes to hurt people. So I'm like, no, let's get away from this. Let's just we can always find out something to do. I'm 20 years old. I can go find something else to do. It's not necessary to go out and beat on people because at the same time I'm taking away their dreams. So like it's like I'm
a heavy
more empathetic
burden
that way where I'm like, okay, not only am I fighting you and I'm literally beating the shit out of you,
Mm-hmm.
but also any dreams that you have that come with this, I am taking those away from you. So it's just like, it took me a while to go, they signed up for it. It took me a while to go, it's not that I'm taking them away. It's just that
It wasn't their time.
Yes.
It wasn't their time. It's my time.
It took me a while for me to recognize that. So it's like once I came to
It's almost like imposter syndrome.
Yeah, it was just real weird for me. I'm
But-
like, fuck.
Honestly, don't ever let I'm no one, but don't ever let the imposter syndrome go away from you. And someone a lot more famous, blah, 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 said the same thing. And it's because once you let that like imposter syndrome go away, that means that you probably need to check yourself a little bit. Like, you don't want to get too big for your britches. And that kind of leads me into my next point, where what do you bring to the UFC? Like, are you going to be the Conor McGregor where he has some of the craziest fucking roasts you've ever seen?
Yeah.
Or the Sean O'Malley, colorful, just super funny? You know what I mean? Like, what is going to... And then you have Kobe Covington. Like, he had to build a whole
guy.
Chill the fuck out, first off.
Fucking can't stand that dude.
Huge cock.
You know what I mean? But, okay. But honestly, sitting down and talking with you, I feel like as a UFC fan, like, and probably because I'm going to have a dog in the race, I'm going to be like, fuck, I don't bet on, that's my boy. Like, I have a dog in the race now. Like, what are you going to bring to the UFC that is new, or maybe someone's going to be able to remember you? That's my boy. Like, I like him.
I don't ever take much things too seriously. Whether we're fighting to the death or not, you're gonna see a little joke. Like, it's just
cool.
That's always been me, and that's
like a subtlety.
What's got me in trouble. That's what's got me where I'm at. I'm like, there's always gonna be a joke, no matter how dire the situation.
Cool.
So there's gonna be that. Also, I'm not here to be anybody else. I'm not here to be the Connors. Like, a lot of people coming up are trying to be Connor.
Yeah. 100%.
So it's just like, I don't care to be that. I'm gonna be me. If you guys enjoy that, beautiful. If you don't, it's like, cool. But it's like, so many people get caught up on, I need to play this person, I need to play this person. It's like, no, be yourself. If yourself is not good enough, work on yourself and become good enough. So it's just like getting to a point where I'm like, cool, I can talk to people, but I'm not here to talk shit. Like, I'll make a joke. You can talk shit. I don't mind that. You're not gonna get in my head. But it's just,
can you clap back? You off the dome? Are you pretty good?
I won't say I'm quick. It might get a little
like a little hectic.
Yeah.
Go down a weird rabbit hole, be like, oh yeah? You get this like weird twitching your
Yeah, what ends up happening is I get a little flirty.
Okay. Hey, dude.
Hey, that throws people off.
100%. Be like, oh yeah, you look cute today. Like, damn, wait, what? Okay, awesome. Well, and the only reason I honestly bring it up is because I alluded to it earlier. You do have like your Paddy Pimblett, who's a star. I mean, he's a superstar. But will he ever be champion? You do have Sean O'Malley, who is a star. I mean, unbelievable. Like, even off social media like this, but also a champion.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a mix of both? Do you want to just be a star? Do you just or do you just screw everything else? I'm going to be a fucking champion. That's what I want.
The Khabib approach.
Yes.
I would prefer to be me. If it's in the cards for me to be champion, if it's in cards for me to be a star or whatever's supposed to happen, cool. But I'm not going to change my personality. I'm not going to change who I am to try to get more, because I think that's what the they say what the devil is. It's like, oh yeah, is I'm changing who I am as a person to get more money, to get more fame, to get more girls. It's like, no, I'm going to be me. If you don't like that, fine with me. But to get back to your point a little earlier ago, you were talking about like a dog in the race. Yeah. It's like, that's why I'm in Ohio. Like, Ohio, like, beyond
ride or die.
They're ride or die.
Oh, 100%.
I'm a Cleveland fan.
Yeah, exactly. It's, listen, my boys are not going to fucking
if you're fighting, I'm getting... Dude, we're going to have people, bro.
The first time. This is just to be clear, this is the first time you've ever met. Like, face to face. We shook hands for the first time out here. And your brother... I heard that you were on the card, and I was fucking heartbroken because I was going to go to the Dougie because they were holding that whole watch party. I don't even fucking know you did, but I knew. I was like, fucking,
I know his brother.
Right down the fucking street.
Dude, but that's so cool.
Fuck. And you were fighting Jack Maddalena, which, to his defense, he's a fucking savage. I mean, he's a hell of a kickboxer. Yeah, he's a good dude. But yeah, I was fucking pumped. I don't even know you, but yeah, that's how Ohio is. I mean, regardless of where you go, Columbus. I mean, talk to an Ohio State fan. You're gonna fucking hate yourself.
And don't worry, we'll have your back no matter what.
Yeah.
Everybody in Ohio are all fiends. You got the Cincinnati people, fiends. Whether it's the Reds, whether it's the Bearcats, or whether it's Bengals, and then you got the Cleveland / Columbus people, Browns. I'm like, and then you go into Ohio State. It's like we're all fiends.
Oh, dude,
yeah,
absolutely. It's like okay.
We appreciate, dude. Like you said, you're gonna go. You're gonna be our Trojan horse out there, fucking representing Ohio. And we're gonna fucking have your back. And one other thing I want to say is, what is your like go-to? Like, I've heard that you have a gas tank. Like, you can go for a fat minute. And for my Tyler to say that's good because that dude's a savage and has a gas tank. So,
I'm sorry, but you're good, Adrian was just telling me he was like he had a talk with you like before the Jack Madalena fight, and you were like, I want to fucking stand up and bang with this motherfucker. Even though I feel like predominantly you're a wrestler type. Yeah. Like you like to wrestle, get a dirty box.
Purple belt.
No, I was gonna wrestle the fuck out of him.
Hey, no. Hey,
Adrian told me he was like,
respect on that purple belt. That's
he was like
bad.
in the gym. He was like, man, I want to fucking bang with this motherfucker.
Well,
and I was like,
it's about mixing it up. So I'm not. My goal for anything, whether you're an enemy or you're a friend, it doesn't matter. My goal is to take weapons away from you.
Yeah.
So it's my goal is to take weapons away from you and keep weapons away and keep my weapons.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna take my stand up away just because you're decent at it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take my grappling game away because you're decent.
Yeah,
at
like
it.
if the jab's working, I'm going. Yeah.
But it is gonna be a cycle. So I'm like, cool. The moment you sit, I'm shooting under.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put some power on that. I'm shooting under. I'm gonna take your hips and we're gonna have some fun. Hold you down for as long as I can.
Yeah, ride them out, dude.
But to get to your point with Tyler, it's like, that's my secret weapon. Most people don't know I have a fucking gas tank. People, because the way I'm built, I'm like, people are like, why the fuck would he have a gas tank? He's huge for 55. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, you're big for your size.
Yeah,
too.
So it's like, nah, I've been blessed in a lot of different areas, but my gas tank is what I thrive on.
Yeah.
One other thing, Tyler also said that, are you a little bit of an anime fan?
I do. I like anime. Yeah.
I saw the Magic the Gathering card.
Oh yeah,
too.
you got Magic the Gathering. If I didn't have these, I would take my pants off if it wasn't on camera. I have a whole anime leg sleeve.
You do not.
Yeah.
Dude, I have a leg sleeve, but mine's Japanese.
Same thing, pretty much.
Dude, that is so cool. Okay, number one. What's your number one anime go to?
Old school or new school?
No, just say whatever.
Okay.
Say
all time.
All time. It finished or unfinished?
Finished.
You're gonna say One Piece. If what?
No.
Then
I do enjoy One Piece. I do like One Piece. If we're gonna go unfinished, there's two. There's Soul Eater, and then there's Dead Man Wonderland. I enjoy them bitches.
I like Bleach.
Yeah, Bleach is also fucking good.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to Bleach yet, but
Bleach is
I
the
pretty much.
shit.
Oh, dude, I'm kind of a nerd, dude. Like I said, I'm a dad now.
Yeah,
so
yeah. You get
Every guy's a little bit of a nerd. I don't give a fuck who you
are. Dude, One Piece is always gonna be mine. Now it's just because that was the first anime I got into.
Luffy on my fucking neck.
Dude, his. Hey, what do you think about his last gear?
Gear 5?
Savage.
I like
the
it.
Kaido fight, insane.
I watched it like 3 times.
Are you up on the manga or are you just anime?
I'll jump back and forth.
Okay.
So, I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, I see it, because he's about to fight the light guy.
Yeah. Kizaru. Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck yeah. So I think he ends up balling on him.
It's a little bit.
It's how the things.
Dude, he needs to, dude. I'm not gonna lie. When you're watching One Piece, I am so tired of Luffy always getting his shit kicked in for like the first 3.
Yeah.
Because the battles are like 5 episodes.
Yes.
The first 3, Luffy's getting his shit pounded, and you're just like, and if you've got the manga, if you're up on it, you're just like, oh my god, dude, just lay some
lay some heat out.
But Hunter x Hunter.
I do like Hunter.
Black Clover.
I like Asta.
Oh,
I got
dude,
Asta on my
see,
leg.
Watch Gangsta.
I haven't seen.
It's on
Gangsta.
Hulu. You should watch that.
What
That
about-
is a fucking
okay,
fantastic.
I'm
It's only
watching-
one season though.
I'm watching the Emeralds in the Shadows. Low key fire. You got it.
Okay.
It's low key pretty good.
Is it?
On Hulu? Second season just dropped.
About to get Hulu.
Oh, dude, it's pretty fire.
I heard
Gangsta's
Bleach.
on
I heard
Hulu,
Bleach
too.
was on Hulu.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
it's all
a
on
couple.
Hulu. They have like their own little section that they do.
I haven't gotten to Bleach. I'm waiting. I'm
Dude,
waiting
Bleach
for Bleach
is the
because I heard
shit.
Bleach is really, really good.
Oh, it is the
and it's got the
shit.
seasons to go.
And this is for anybody that doesn't watch anime. Anime is better than most shows only because not only does it have a story, but they actually have like a story for each individual character. Like the characters actually grow. So that's the cool thing about it. But if you guys if you guys have Amazon Prime, watch Wheel of Time.
I've never.
Are
I'm
you
writing
a
it down.
dubbed or a
Wait,
subbed guy?
I would watch
definitely dubbed.
I'm a subbed guy.
I like to read them.
Yeah, me
no.
too.
Because if I don't
Is
read
this
them,
one? Is this one subbed or dubbed?
No, it's not an anime. This
Oh, it's
is,
not?
Yes, this is something that the story's involved in. It's like it's not. But it's like fucking. This is cool. And if you guys haven't heard of him, he has I want to say 12 books, but they're these big ass fucking books, and they've done so well as a series that they turned it into a show. So
That's
now
fucking lit.
they're on season 2. But I like as soon as the last episode on season 2 ended, I'm like, these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And that's how it used to be with anime. So anime, I would watch. I would get up at like 9 a.m. to watch the Naruto's, to watch the Ninja Turtles.
I never did Naruto, dude.
Naruto is the
That's
shit.
fine. It's all right. I never did Dragon Ball Z.
Oh my god! There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
You?
Well, it was repetitive. Cause
Oh, I thought Naruto was like that.
No, I got like severe ADHD. Obviously, you guys
Me
figured
too.
that out at that point. But
100. I'm
like
right
my
with you,
brain,
brother.
my
You're
brain, my brain
undiagnosed.
is always going. My brain's always going.
Yeah,
So
me
like, if
too.
I can guess what's gonna happen,
Yep.
Oh, he gets stronger. He has to train. Oh, he beats him. That was everything. So that's repetitive. It was too repetitive for me to go, okay, cool. If someone would have died, if it would have made a little bit more, but it was so repetitive that I'm like, I can't get into it. And for me, I could have been like, let's get disciplined and try to watch it, but like my brain's like, no.
Someone told me.
Watch the first season. The first season that came out in the
Of what?
90s, in the early 90s. It's just called Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Oh,
If you watch the first season, just watch, because I did that a long time ago. I just sat down and I wanted to see the beginning. If you watch the first season, I don't care if you ever watch it again after that, because it is like, it's interesting because you like, obviously growing up, you know what Dragon Ball Z is.
Yeah.
You know who the main characters are. All
I'm
that shit.
shocked about that.
But
I still
you-
watched all the fights.
Yeah.
don't get me
I
was
wrong.
going to
Like,
say.
The fighting
it's just the
scenes-
story. Like the fighting scenes are dope.
Yeah.
And I've watched them get to with Super Saiyan God or whatever, where he's blue and purple.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen all that shit. And I've
Okay,
seen him
Ultra
fight,
Instinct
I've
and
seen him
shit?
fight. Yes, I've seen him fight Beerus.
Beerus.
But
Okay.
I just haven't watched this.
That's
story.
cool. I guess I'm a little bit. I haven't watched all the way through.
Yeah.
Kind of. Someone told me I have to skip the first 3 seasons of Naruto to get into it.
It just depends because like people are.
Because I'm a lot like you with the ADHD shit,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, this is way too slow.
Yeah, if it's not interesting enough, I'm out. I'm good.
Now I can't go back because I know what happens.
Yeah.
But the build up and everything to the tuning exams
worth
is
it?
fucking nice.
Is it
Yeah.
worth it?
It's worth it only because there's this moment with fucking Rock Lee and he's fighting Gar and you're like, fuck yeah. Fuck
Is this where he
everybody
takes the
else.
weights off?
Yes.
Oh!
Drops him.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah, I'm like, fuck it. I nutted right now.
Oh,
Keep going. Yeah.
so you trying to make me come, dude?
Yeah.
This is
Chill out.
And you know what? I'm so. First off, thank you so much for coming on because
hell
we
yeah.
got to see like the real side. Like you're a real fucking guy, and your dreams are coming true. And I'm also super glad that you alluded and put it into words on a lot of guys like that have demons, know how to fucking control them.
Yeah.
And
This is
oh,
a healthy
bro.
avenue. To
Exactly,
where if you have this
seriously.
inside of you, it takes nothing to. I wouldn't say it takes nothing, but I'm saying it doesn't take even a minuscule amount of effort to at least go and look into something like this. It's
Right.
it's good. You may not be a fucking UFC guy one day, but it's just a healthy alternative to maybe some
Absolutely.
things that you deal with.
Anybody that's has mental issues in general, men or women, it's like some people are different. Some people need somebody to talk to. Some people just need their boys and be like,
Yeah,
hey, listen.
or the weights.
Yes.
They do something.
Some people need some, but and this is what I'll get to. The physical workout and in your mental health. So physical health and mental health are linked in a way.
Absolutely.
That's going to help for a certain amount of time, but like you need to get it out. Like the harder and the longer you hold that shit in, it's going to eat you alive. It's the monsters under your bed. Like eventually it's going to come out. Whether you're having a good time, whether you have a good space in your life, whether you are pretty much living the life you want to live, these things will come out no matter who you are. So if you don't take care of this sooner, that later is going to bite you. And while you're in control, you want to let those monsters out, because if you let those monsters control when they come out, you're going to hurt somebody's feelings. You're going to lash out. You're going to hurt someone physically that you don't want to.
Man.
So it's just about going, okay, cool. Maybe this is a little triggering for me, but I need to let this out. Maybe this isn't the right area, but it's like I got people I trust, or people that at least can kind of get with this. Let me try to talk this through. If they don't communicate well, then cool. I'm not going to feel triggered a certain way, but I'm just like, don't hold that shit in. It's not a place to hold it in. Find people you trust. Find somebody you can talk to. Find a therapist. Talk to them. Get to a point where you understand yourself.
That's so crazy.
Because that's bigger than anything. Like, and most people don't know this, but with fighting, any combat sports, it's 99% mental.
Oh,
Because everybody there already has that physicality. You don't really have that camaraderie you do with your teammates out on the field, where you get to go.
it's a one-man sport, bro. It's all on you.
It's a team sport, but at the end of the day, you're in your own little world. Like, do these people care about me, or do they care about what I can do? Like,
Where are you saying with your coaches and stuff?
Well, as you build up, but a lot of people will go and they'll ship off to a different place because that's where they think they need to. They think they need to go to Florida. They think they need to go to Cali. They think they need to go down to New York and train with the best in the world. But then they're like, I'm just another body. And then you get to a point where you're like, I can't trust these guys. I can't do this. So they're locked up and they're going, I am training with the best in the world, but where's my mental at? Like, their mental's so dog shit because they don't trust anybody, and they are just a commodity when it comes to just business. So like, cool, you're paying me, that's it. But when you're with like me, the reason why my mental health's been getting better over times is I still had that inner demon. And I have people I trust around me.
Yeah.
I still had that. Like, I was going to quit fighting, and I still have people I trust around me. Imagine if you're like, but these, you're pretty much by yourself. Like, being in a big room and feeling by yourself, that's the same concept of, okay, I'm talking, but I don't feel heard, is how it comes. But anyways, in general, try to just take care of yourself. You can't do anything. You can't be a father. You can't be a mother. You can't be anything in life. Work a healthy job. Be healthy if you cannot get your mental under control. Figure out there's always, especially when you're interacting with different people, there's their internal world, there's what's going on in the real world, and then there's your internal world.
Yeah.
If you can't see yourself through other people's eyes, you should probably get a therapist. If you can't go, ooh, I feel bad for them. Okay, you should probably get a therapist. If you can get to a point where you're just like, no, if you don't know why you do most things in life, you should probably get a therapist. And if you can't,
It's true, man.
yeah, and it's scary because, I mean, not that everybody needs it, because some people don't. I didn't get a therapist. But
I was about to ask, how did you come
Hey, do you
to
have
this
a mental
knowledge?
coach? I know a lot of people
No,
have.
I'm just like, I'm so hard on myself.
Yeah,
Like, and
you just looked inside. You're just
Yeah.
I'm a lot like you, where I'm like, I don't think I need to pay someone $150 to sit down with an hour. I'm just self-reflect, brother. I'll go look in the mirror. I'm the hardest dude on myself. I worked out today, and I haven't worked out this entire week. Every day I've woke up, I'm like, you fat piece of shit.
Can't do that.
Well,
Yes, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm just really fucking hard. But everything that you just said, like, hit home with me. Like, I feel like
Yeah, how
you
many
are
times
a lot.
have I said that?
Holy
How many times have I said that people, like, I always,
It's
usually
true.
in the episode where I'm like, look, if you need help. go
Well, it's
get
not
it.
only
It's
that, but his
important to, like,
mindset
lean
and
on
what you
people
were just
trust.
thinking about, I can really relate to
No,
that.
it's and the more you get I'll spew a little bit about this, but like in my personal opinion, I think chaos is the first thing that was ever created, and then the only thing order is the boundaries around chaos. So we as human beings already are we're chaotic beings.
Yeah.
We have a lot of emotion. We have a lot of ups and downs. There's people that are
That's
more
our-
logical. There's more people that are lower emotional. But bottom line, we're very chaotic. If you cannot apply borders to yourself, if you cannot apply borders to a relationship, or if you cannot get to a point where you're like, no, don't do that because it triggers me, or no, you shouldn't do that because this, or yeah, you could do that, or if you can't talk about why things trigger you, or if you don't even know why you're upset, or if you don't even understand why you get to a point where you're like, why don't I feel correct? Like, if you don't understand, like, you walk in a room and you're like, damn, why do I
feel like I'm going to beat up everyone in this motherfucker? Like, damn.
And it took me till 22 to understand social anxiety. I'm like, why don't I feel like I don't feel good? Like, and it got to a point where I'm like, oh, I understand a lot of people's emotion. Like, I'll get into a room and it's because of the way I grew up, but like,
I'm dealing with shit.
yeah, not even just me. Like, I can like, I'll go into a room and something feels off.
How old are you? You said
24. Yeah.
So you still have one more year till your brain's fully developed.
We'll see.
shit you not. Like
what's jury's still out on that.
I'd say you said around 22. I started thinking exactly like how you did when I was 24, and that's when pretty much my wife got pregnant. Like that's when like
huge brain shit. Yeah,
dude, it's insane that you say that. You put two things into words that like you're very knowledgeable.
Well, yeah, and what it is
wise, I would say for your age.
A lot of suffering.
Well, self-awareness.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so crazy. Yeah. I just fucking said that the other week. Remember we were talking about that where I was like, a lot of people are afraid to self-reflect when they take a loss or when you're going through shit. You know what I mean? And you learn so much about yourself.
Absolutely.
When you fuck up. Like when you fuck up, when you go through a heartbreak.
Yeah.
Or you lose a fight. Or you fucking lose a foot. Whatever.
Or let's put it into smaller terms. You get a fucking F on a paper you studied your ass
little
off
shit
for.
That might mean a lot to people. It's like, bro, the best thing you can do is sit down and just look at yourself. Look at yourself and take the loss for what it is.
Yeah.
And then focus on what you can do better. But if you're too afraid to fucking go do that, you will not progress. You will not progress.
And this is one thing I've learned with anything, like just life in general. The more vulnerable you are with someone, a sport, anything, the more you'll get out of it, but the more it's capable of breaking you down.
Oh yeah, taking from you.
Yes. So it's like whether it's taking, like for me fighting, I've had to sacrifice so much to the point where now I'm like, you're like, this is the way I think about it is, but whoever's up there, higher power, fucking, it doesn't matter. They've been like, hey, you have to sit and you have to go. Is this still something you want to do? You have everything you've ever wanted from it, and if you've everything you were supposed to search out for. Is this something you still want to do? It's like, cool. All right, now that you know that, sit and be patient. It's like, fuck, I'm still at the door. And you get to a point where like, all right, well, I've gotten so used to being shit on. I've gotten so used to not getting my way. I've gotten so used to pretty much just doing what other people want that I've never, and this is why I've destroyed a lot of my old relationships, is because I just got to a point where like, they'd be like, oh, you're gaslighting me. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, you don't even know.
Yeah, I'm like, no. It's like, do your thing.
You're just being real,
it's like, do your thing. And as a man, you don't get to. Now it's a little bit more acceptable, but you don't get to talk about it. And honestly, like to be fair, I don't think you. I don't think you like for me. I would. The only reason why I haven't talked to a therapist is because one day, my wife, my child, like however many I have, they're going to have to tell me things that I'm not going to get to talk to people about. So I have to be able to not only control my thoughts, but I also have to be able to control their emotions and understand like, hey, they're going through it. And no matter what I'm going through at that time, I have to be there for them. It's not about me. I have to be there to understand, yes, boom, I'm going through something, but they are too. So I need to go, cool, for a second, who cares about me? Whether it's my daughter, whether it's my wife, whoever, what do I need to do for you?
So you're 42, right?
Pretty much.
I mean, and you sure you ain't got a wife and kids already?
Not
because
yet.
everything,
she's out there somewhere.
Everything you're saying,
she's coming.
is just like,
hopefully not.
You're definitely very wise for your age, I'd say, and it, like you have alluded to, it seems like you definitely had some traumas and been through and worked through a lot. Exactly, and I feel like I'm not gonna lie. Brother, if I would have went to Licking Heights, we probably would have been friends, like pretty fucking close friends. I would have been like, I like that dude.
Well, I think for you, like, because I do the same stuff. Where like I'm an open book when it comes to those things, like struggles or whatever the case may be. I didn't have the greatest childhood growing up, whatever the case may be. Obviously, we had different experiences. My dad was around, whatever, But I'm very good at putting those things into words. Where like you're a little different. You're a little more secluded, which, bro.
Antisocial.
I feel not antisocial. I mean like closed off. Like you close the floodgates, son.
Maybe
you do.
You're more aware because of who you let in.
Yeah, that
I'm very aware.
That's not a dig at you. I'm saying
I'm saying you don't know me at all. Because I will walk up to a stranger and tell them my entire life story in 5 minutes.
I think
Well, what I'm saying is I feel like you hold.
I think you just needed to point at someone in the room to put that last topic back, and you were that guy.
No, I'm just saying.
not him.
No,
I'm just saying like you leave a level of vulnerability that you don't go to because it's like
I've never opened up too
That's
much
what I mean,
about like the trauma I went through as a child and
but
stuff.
I think that you like
kind of, but I do tell people I was stolen as a kid. Like
That's kind of gangster.
that's
Yeah, it is gangster.
that's what I'm saying. He pointed at me and I'm like, brother, I can talk to that tree out
But
there.
no,
The
what
whole
I'm
reason I started
saying
this
is-
podcast is because I like to talk.
But like what I was saying is like you just hold a level of vulnerability.
Yeah,
where,
I think
where
everyone
like,
has that last wall up.
yeah, where it's like
Until you find your wife or your
as
kids
somebody,
and stuff.
As somebody like me and him, I don't really hold that wall because it's like if you have those things where your mindset might be different. You know what I mean? Like it definitely is. Where it's like I'm open to talk about these things because to me it's like if I didn't go through those things, it wouldn't be the person I am. Like why would we sit here and have a conversation in an intimate kind of like setting where it's like why would I be afraid to tell you that shit? You know what I mean? Where it's like and it makes you feel better.
A lot of it's on society. Like they
there's a lot of
and this is what pisses me off about the TV shows and people like, oh, did you get caught up on this or get this? There's so many different shows that show this fantasy life.
It's a bubble, like a tiny little bubble.
It forces people to go, this is the life I should live, instead of them thinking for themselves and going, what do I want from life? And then whenever they don't get to go and live this fantasy life, or if they are living that fantasy life, beautiful. I am on your side, and you're living this life, and then at some point you hit 28, 29, 40. It's like around that age, and you're going, is this what, like, did I waste this whole time because I'm looking for fun? It's like society has pushed this fun bubble on everybody, and then not a lot of people have gotten to a point to where, what do I want out of life? And then they get so caught up on life fucking sucks. There's no point of living. It's like, yeah, you're kind of right. There is no point of living except for the fact that we each have our own individual story. It's like
that you're trying to write, trying to leave behind, trying
perspective
to build.
is everything.
Yeah, it's like
your perspective is your
if
reality.
If we turn on a movie right now and we're like, oh, it's eventually going to end. It's like, should we just stop it now? They're like, no, I want to see what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah, find out what happens. This is your own personal movie that you get to fucking live.
But what you're pretty much saying is there's a lot of sheep in this world. There's not
so
too.
many.
I mean, and like I said, there's leaders, and then there's people that follow, and there's. My dad always kind of told me, he's like, dude, if you're going to go through life and stuff, try and lead. Don't always follow by example. Yeah, you are going to take those L's, like we've alluded to this entire time. But if you pick yourself up, keep moving forward. Doesn't matter.
That's how you progress.
Exactly. And then you will achieve those dreams of becoming a UFC fighter and coming on the freaking BFEBOYS podcast. We're going to wrap it up. Is there anything else that you want to plug or say or... Dude, you're so wise for your age. I mean...
We'll be back. I'll come back and I'll be naked the whole time.
Oh, jeez. We got to see this anime leg sleeve.
I want to ask you one more thing.
Go ahead.
What's the walkout song, son? First UFC event. What's the
dude,
walkout
big.
song?
I've been chatting with Doobie. So Doobie also lived up here. And
that's so crazy.
I contacted him. I'm like, hey, you want to do something about Columbus so I can walk out to it? So hopefully he gets it right. He did. He responded and he was like, it would be my honor. So hopefully, it's something with just letting people know where we're from. It's a Columbus.
I like
song.
that.
I'll let him be
That's
creative.
so hilarious. Because I have notes for the podcast, and I remember I jotted down like what your walkout song would be, and I swear to God, I was thinking today, I was like, wouldn't that be crazy if he just was like, fuck it, I'm throwing Doobie as my walkout music, because nobody would know what the fuck was going on, but we do. For sure.
Oh, yeah. Our people.
Dude, and like I said, you're back in the Block O. You're representing Columbus.
Absolutely.
I mean, and we're going to have your back, dude. I'm telling you, I got that dog in the race, dude.
Yeah,
I'm downloading FanDuel, whatever, and I'm like, my boy.
I was about to say, we got to win
serious.
some money.
No, he said I'm downloading. I was like, he's downloading Tinder. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
His wife.
Yeah, let me hold on. Let me just take that off.
Oh, no, you about to get in trouble doing that shit.
Oh, hell no. Okay, cool. All right. Thank you so much for coming on, brother. Honestly,
It's been a blast, man.
it was. I feel like you became a best friend. And like I said, even though you're our enemy, Licking Heights has some pretty cool guys.
All right.
So shout out Laking Heights. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you,
and
boss.
do you want to plug anything or shout out anything real quick?
The only thing I'm really chilling on right now is Instagram. JOSIAH HARRELL MMA. That's pretty much it. Everything. We don't talk about Pornhub. Everything else is
Okay.
good.
Thank you so much. The BFE boys, we're out.